In October last year, I made a video about why I didn't own a PS5 yet. And the 5 reasons being money and time, me being a late bloomer, I have a backlog that could fill a dump truck, ergonomics of the PS5, and finally, exclusives. This video is going to be the complete antithesis of that video. The grass is greener on the other side, and I want to tell you 5 reasons why 2023 is the year to invest in a PS5. As far as money and time goes, oil has been significantly lower since the last time we talked about it. Last time it was about $5 a gallon. Now it's down to the lowest as I've seen is $3.07. And that makes me happier because that's less money that we have to dish out to heat our homes. One of the factors that contributed to me getting a PS5 was I was able to get a bonus at work, and I was able to use that bonus to afford a PS5, which was great. I will say time was still a factor during the winter months. We're all stuck inside. I'm definitely caught up on Last of Us and Mandalorian, but aside from that, being a dad and being a husband, that alone is a full-time job in and of itself. I will say being a wife and mother is a full-time job. One thing that was nice about the month of January was Sony had their spot at Consumer Electronics Show, and they had said that stock for the PS5 was no problem whatsoever. You were able to straight up just buy a PS5 off the website. You didn't need an invite, and that's how I ordered mine, and I got mine in 2 days. And that's a little bit better than I would have gotten on Amazon, because on Amazon you still need to wait for an invite, so to prevent scalpers from buying up the stock of PS5 again, which is a good system to have. And even so, I was at Best Buy yesterday, and I saw PS5s actually in the store, and that was the first time for the roughly 2 years that PS5 has been on the market thus far that I've seen PS5s in a store in the state of Rhode Island. Scalpers aren't getting the PS5, and it's going into the hands of actual consumers. So, great job, everyone. The next point I want to address from my last video is that I am a late bloomer, and I definitely stand by this position. I will say 2023 is really when the next generation of consoles really has their start. The consoles of this generation, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, started in late 2020, and they didn't really have a whole ton going for them at that point. I mean, you could still play you could still play last gen games, and they would upscale and stuff. 2021 had some games. They didn't have a whole lot. I mean, 2021 had Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and Demon's Souls, but you didn't really hear a whole lot from the PS5 in 2021. Then comes 2022, and there were blockbusters. So Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, Stray, all these really good games. And you could say that's a little bit of, you can say that's not quite so many games. Personally, when you're a busy gamer like I am, that's enough time to spread out throughout the whole year and not break your time and not break your budget either. At the Video Game Awards this year, if you will remember, there was definitely some PS4 games still in development, but there were no major ones coming to both PS5 and the PS4. Also, if you take a look at the last gen, so Hogwarts Legacy, for example, you have the PS4 and Xbox One versions of these games, along with the Switch, delayed twice so far. The Xbox Series X and the PS5 versions of these games released in February, and the previous gen has not yet released yet. Being a late bloomer is good. I still stand by that, but 2023 is the year that we should be investing in a PS5 if you haven't already. If you look at games such as Star Wars Jedi Survivor, if you look at other upcoming games, these games are not coming to PS4, and not to mention they run better on PS5. The next point I addressed in my last video was the fact that I have a backlog the size of a dump truck. I will say, if you get a PS5, it will make your PS4 games look and run better. Just the load times alone are cut dramatically. And whereas I used to use the load times between games for texting my friends or texting my wife, the load times are significantly shorter, so I'm reaching for my phone way less than I was in the previous generation. I am not any expert on this, but PS5 does have ray tracing, which basically allows you to see the game in a lot more detail. You'll notice reflections and mirrors and stuff, but really what you should be looking forward to in the PS5 is the smooth 60 frames a second. Let me know in the comments if you enjoy frame rate better or if you like resolution better. Personally, I was all about 4K and super high definition and stuff, but having a PS5 has made me very much appreciate the smoother frame rate and kind of get a little bit of a taste of what PC gamers go through. If you have PS4 games such as God of War or Horizon, and you have the discs on these games, you can upgrade them. Some you can upgrade for $10. Some are free. Kena Bridge of Spirits was free. God of War was $10. And they will upgrade you to the PS5 versions of these things. And once you see the difference in these games, you're not going to want to go back. The ergonomics part of my last video, you will be proud to know, comment section, that I did get an entertainment center because recently I switched houses. I went from a 2-family near Providence to a single family a little bit, as we Rhode Islanders call it, out in the boonies. I did get a entertainment center, and I want to show you guys here. Here it is. And definitely know that I heard you in the comment section. So I'm not using my son's little box from IKEA there. So thanks, guys. Also being said, PS5 is a big boy. It is like the biggest console I think ever made, and you may or may not like that. Personally, I don't like the design of it. But at the same time, I don't really exactly care how a console looks. I care about how the games look on it and how they perform. The final point I made in my last video was the exclusives. There are still both PS5 and PS4 games being made, and we're still in this intergeneration period still. But I personally was not getting a PS5 because there was both PS5 and PS4 games, and that was one of the main factors that I kept hanging on to my PS4 Pro, because with that I figured there's like less of an upgrade versus like the standard PS4. There should be a lot more of an upgrade if you go from the base PS4 to the new PS5. I will say I do hope that in, let's say, 2024, that everything is only PS5, because one of the things that you'll notice on if you have a PS5 is that the controller for this thing, the DualSense 5, is a haptic powerhouse. It is really nice. When you open up your PS5 and you start playing Astro's Playroom, the haptic feedback of every step that the little robot takes is just spot on. And then you have like when you're doing the spring, the triggers have adaptive feedback and stuff, and it's just really immersive, and it's really cool. That being said, the more that there are both PS4 and PS5 games, I could see where the adaptive triggers are being used. I just don't see their full extent because of the inter-console period that we have going on right now. I feel like, and I may be wrong, that once we have PS5 only, then the adaptive triggers will be used a lot more. And I'm really for this new change. I think that's something that sets themselves apart from both Nintendo and Microsoft, is a bit of a step back as far as battery life. So with the PS4, I was charging my controller maybe once every 2 weeks, and again, I'm a dad, so I was playing not quite every night, so that's why I was charging it every couple weeks. With the PS5, I charge this thing definitely once a week, probably sooner than that, probably once every 4 days. I will say also that the L1R1 do seem a little plasticky, a little cheap, but I definitely can't wait to use the controller more with PS5 only games. So with that being said, I'm really hoping for the PS5 exclusivity to come into full swing. So tell me in the comment section below, are you still holding on to your last generation console, PS4? If so, let me know why. If not, let me know how you're enjoying PS5. And have you embraced the future? I want to know. Let me know in the comments down below. Until the next time, make sure you go spend time with your family, go ace that next test, and make sure you throw touchdowns before playing Call of Duty. I'll see you on the next one.